Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Spice Cabinet. This is episode 4, and I'm joined by my very good friend and super skilled artist, Illushray. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, shucks. It's very excited to be able to contribute to the YouTube channel and excited to hang out.
Yep, very excited to have you on. Illushray is one of the first online artists that I became good friends with through our mutual love for Kings of Nowhere. I think that's kind of how we
Yeah, likewise.
we came together. And
shout out to Roosh Coterie Inc.
Oh yeah, this is another always ready to shout out Roosh whenever there's a chance. I already did that in episode 1. So Illushray, what are you working on these days?
Well, I've been working on comics ever since 2018, and so I'm still doing that, working on a new book.
Nice.
I won't say too much about it yet because it's still early in the works, but lots of sci-fi, aliens, fighting. It'll be fun time.
Oh yeah, that's always good sci-fi setting. That's probably my personal favorite setting for just about everything sci-fi fantasy, but that's super exciting. Glad to get more people working on comics and stuff. I've been hearing from a few people they're starting their own comics, which is super exciting. Just to see other people getting to work on their own stories.
Yeah, for real. And your work on Where the Humans Go is super inspiring. Every time I see you putting out new pages and chapters, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get going.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a journey, and I'm starting to reach the tail end of the first volume. Only 2 chapters left to illustrate for volume 1, and then move on to the next one.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
The new chapter was super good.
Thank
Kia
you.
fight scene.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the volume 1 release.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a lot
Man,
of fun.
it's gonna be so cool. Like as we all get older, like we'll start to have physical copies of each other's books.
Dude, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Whenever I'm gonna have that bookshelf with all my comics and books, and just gonna have a dedicated section for all the art friends who've made it and made their stuff. Get to keep it up there. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So now that we're here, why don't we get to drawing? What do we want to do first?
Well, I was thinking, we could start with some Dragon Ball Z fan art in light of recent passing of absolute complete legend Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, very sad, man. He's probably had like the most influence on the collective of humanity.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think you could show Goku to like 90%. I'm pretty sure at least 90% of the world could see Goku as a character and at least recognize it. Like, you're like, I've seen that before. The dude's influence is nuts.
Like as a kid, like my parents and my older relatives, they all knew Goku, Kamehameha, Super Saiyan because of how much I'd like play with my action figures and like shout it and like pretend to try and power up to Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Just around the house.
It was so weird when I heard it this morning, but I'll keep going at that in a second. Why don't we choose characters? Who you want to do?
Man, okay, I should have thought about this before.
It's hard to choose. There's so many awesome characters. Here, I'll go for. I'm gonna do Krillin.
Krillin, okay.
I always love some of the overshadow characters. Like my personal favorite character is Piccolo. I fucking
Piccolo.
Piccolo rocks so hard.
I think I'm gonna do Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta because I have an action figure of him.
Nice.
Dragon Ball GT is often overlooked, I feel, it was. I had a great time watching it.
I mean, yeah. Seeing them scream at each other and hit each other really hard is always it always does something in the brain, just activates the neurons. Like I don't sometimes I don't understand what's happening, but you know what, it looks so damn cool.
Yeah, it's the age old. It never gets old for real.
The rule of cool. So yeah, it was really crazy because as of the day of recording this, I just heard about it this morning, and I woke up in my Dragon Ball T-shirt that I bought from fucking one of those clothing stores, you know the ones. And
yeah.
And I scroll through and see that. I sit down at my desk. I look at my Goku figurine on my desk. I'm like, damn.
Yep. I got a Goku right here too.
Yeah, it's like what a way to start the morning. I gotta get up and go to class feeling like this. But
yeah, man, very sad.
Yeah, but it's sad, you know, gone but never forgotten. He's gonna definitely continue to inspire, you know, thousands, if not millions, of artists in the future. Like Dragon Ball's a brand, and as just what it meant for the world is never gonna go away.
Yeah, agreed. I also have a Dragon Ball T-shirt from Uniqlo. I got it when I went to Japan.
Yeah, that's the store. I got it while I was in London last year.
Does your T-shirt, is it white with a couple panels of Bulma on the front?
Yes, and it's got Bulma and Goku riding the motorcycle on the back. That's the one.
I have that one too.
Yeah, that it's such a good fucking T-shirt.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's a little too big for me. But you know, I saw it and I was like, oh, that rocks so hard. I love that classic Dragon Ball style. I gotta have it.
Oh man. Yeah, manga panels. I need more T-shirts with that.
It's manga panels on T-shirts is just peak clothing design. It's just something about like picking some really solid panels from a good manga just hits different.
Yeah,
I bought that.
Honestly.
And I bought another one that has Super Saiyan Goku and Gohan, not Goten. Gohan riding a motorcycle on the front, or riding a car or something. I gotta pick it out of my closet again, but I got two that day because they were both really cool.
Yeah. Dragon Ball will never not be a huge part of the fans' lives.
Yeah, just
and
culture,
everyone's lives.
Just culture in general. I mean, like, I don't even know. I can't even think of a world like where Dragon Ball isn't getting talked about.
Yeah. Man, I'm feeling compelled to like do like an underdrawing and stuff first, but I don't want to bore people.
You could do
with all the.
You can do whatever you want, man. I mean, I usually don't go through the underdrawing just because I find it to be really good practice just to go straight into it sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Especially when you're sitting down with like a pen in front of people who are watching.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully it's all pre-recorded, so the only ones watching is me and silently judging.
I've been getting a lot into traditional recently.
Yeah, I noticed you've been drawing a bunch of cool ass like snaky doodles.
Oh yeah.
There's just something about those doodles. It's just very clean. I don't know. They feel good to look at.
Yeah, appreciate it. I've really been trying to focus on line weight at the suggestion of Roosh.
Yeah, no, your traditional work is really, really good.
Appreciate it. Yours is also really good.
Thank you. My traditional work, you know, it's not the greatest. I mean, most of my traditional work just ends up being like really quick, like ballpoint pen doodles in class nowadays. I don't really do that much traditional work that much anymore. I should probably get back into it a little bit, but I just love drawing on my iPad so much. I'm an iPad kid.
Man, speaking of iPad kids, like I'm seeing like these videos of them recently, and like how they are literally glued to the screen. Dude. And I actually I went to India recently, and had like a bunch of reunions with my parents. Oh, what happened to my brush? One sec. Oh yeah, with my parents, like college and high
Mm-hmm.
school classmates, and there was one kid there who was like, he had this phone and he had it like an inch from his face the entire time, and
Oh
he
my
wouldn't
god.
talk. And for like the 4 or 5 seconds that the phone was away from him, he was like chatting with everyone. He's like very lively, and as soon as the phone was given back to him, he just like went completely dead again.
It's so weird. But yeah, yeah, I see people, I see kids like that a lot nowadays. It's in restaurants all the time. I'll go and sit down, and I see this kid who has like this big ass iPad with a big green case on it, so you know it's
Yeah,
theirs, and they're just watching like those YouTube like content farm slop that's like made for
yeah,
kids, you know.
yeah. The
Uh,
Coco Melon and
Yeah,
whatnot.
the Coco Melon kids, Coco Melon, Squid Game, Spider-Man, Elsa,
Yeah.
and it's just like, man, can't even put it down and like talk to your parents or eat some food, like chill.
Yeah, I mean, we sound really old, but
Ah,
honestly,
whatever. It's only I can only be ageist because it's me. I'm right.
yeah, true.
I'm right.
Yeah, I do feel bad though. I feel like it impacts your like creativity and whatnot. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was little, I was not able to use any sort of screen except for 20 minutes of Pop Tropica every day,
Mm-hmm.
and the laptop would take like 10 minutes to boot up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. For me, it was just like I didn't have a phone or anything until I was around 13. Um, and even then, that was like when I got a phone. That was before the age of TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and like just all this really extreme short form content. Like I just looked at memes on my phone, um,
Yeah, same.
and used it to watch YouTube and like text my friends. But like nowadays, like the entire like half of the entertainment industry feels like it's built for smartphones now. Really,
Yeah, it's true.
really does a good job at captivating the kids.
Yeah, actually. Honestly, it does a good job of captivating the adults too.
Oh, oh
I
yeah,
sit on Instagram and just like waste so much time.
yeah. I've gotten pretty good about just kind of not going through social media that much, and it's mostly because a lot of times, like these days, the apps I'm on, like Instagram, and I don't watch any Instagram reels just because I mostly get the art reels because all I follow
Hmm.
and see is artists, and I hate those reels because a lot of the time they're usually really cringy or it's um, the same art trend that's been going on for that current time. It's like I just want to see like original content, so
Yeah,
I don't even touch Instagram Reels. And a lot of time these apps, like especially that app, Instagram and Twitter, like they keep showing me bullshit I don't want to see for some reason. Even stuff like I don't remember ever like being interested in.
yeah.
Twitter, it's especially bad just because I keep seeing like either political stuff or like controversial shit all the time when I just want to see other people's drawings. You know,
Yeah,
I just want to see my friend's art.
yeah. But it was especially bad in the beginning. Like you would just get sucked into, or I mean, I would just get sucked into random stuff, and I'd be like, wait, aren't I following like actual people here? What
Hmm.
am I? But yeah, it's whatever. I try and keep those apps uninstalled so I don't waste too much time.
Yeah,
But
you
whenever I have to talk to someone or something, then
yeah,
I fall back into the trap.
you do whatever you got to do. Oh yeah, look at Jeets, look at him
Yeah,
go.
I like your Krillin going on here with
Mhm.
the
Destructo disc.
Destructo disc. Yeah, that's what it is.
Krillin, I mean, he gets shat on a lot, but he also got Android 18, so I think he kind of just wins the series.
It's true. We should draw an Android 18 for him too.
Just she's giving him support. So with your sort of I know we talked about a little bit before that the comic you're currently working on is like, it's kind of set in the same sort of universe as your old comic in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. Like some of the premise elements are similar, but
but just kind of like a different
whenever
execution and different
like
focus.
I've rebooted the characters. Like they keep the same name, but they've been written differently. Like I like their names and appearances, so I keep those. But yeah, they're usually written. They've been written differently.
Okay.
It's honestly like I've gone through several different stories, but kept some of the elements.
Where the humans go, you know, I've done that. The sort of the tail end of the book, I completely rewrote. You know, like I scrapped everything I had and completely rewrote how it plays out, which is, you know, sometimes it's just necessary in order to tell like the story that needs to, you know, be told, the one that makes more sense.
Yeah, or just whatever makes you more excited. Yeah, and I was writing / like drawing the scene that I think I showed you guys a few pages of a couple weeks ago, and I had a bunch of people, like I have some close friends who are really helpful in helping me like gauge the script quality and whatnot.
Yeah.
So when I finished the script, I invited all of them to join Discord for a little while, and we did this thing where we all took a character and we just read through the script as if it were a movie.
Oh yeah.
And we all had a lot of fun doing that, and we it was a really pleasant experience. But then when I actually made the comic and I showed it to a couple people, none of them were feeling like the emotional impact that like my friends and I had felt with the script read aloud, because like I'd been studying screenplay, and I guess like I delivered that script as a kind of a movie format to my friends. So then I realized I'd made a huge mistake. So now I had to kind of spread the story and write another, like I'm writing more like content so that the story has the same impact and the same context that you get from like a movie setting.
Yeah, that's the same thing I do. But what you were saying earlier about reading the lines out, that is actually a really useful thing to do, to like make sure your dialogue sounds like it's actually being, like it's something real human beings would say.
Yeah.
Because that's like an issue with a lot of media, like especially like mainstream stuff nowadays. Like the way characters talk, you just look at it and you're like, why a human being would never talk like that or say things like that ever.
I saw this really funny. Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, you're good.
All right, well, okay. And I saw this really funny clip recently from some like the Flash show or a Flash movie, and the characters were talking, and one of them was like, I'm the greatest magician. You can't beat me because I'm the dealer, something, and then Flash like does something to beat her, and she's like, you reshuffle the deck, what? And it was just ridiculous. Like they're speaking in gambling like metaphors.
Yeah.
And then it was like nobody would, like, if you're two people fighting especially, would never talk like this, but like no self-respecting human being would talk like this in a normal setting.
Yeah, it's dialogue is super important for any story. Like if your dialogue feels like super fake and like that's one of the things I think pretty much anyone can pick up on, you know, like even casual watchers can pick up on like shitty dialogue. You don't have to be like any kind of like film or media buff to read or watch something and feel like the dialogue doesn't feel like it's being spoken by people. So if that is one thing it's hard to nail too sometimes, because dialogue in of itself is usually serving some sort of narrative purpose, whether it's plot or character, and so you have to balance like how can I make these characters talk as if it's realistic and something they would actually say while also getting the information across to the audience.
Exactly.
And so it's a delicate balance. Some people do it extremely well. People like, I guess, like for me, it's like Quentin Tarantino is like one of the masters of dishing out information through dialogue, and that's like the extremely good way of doing it. And then there's some people who do it really, really bad.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino, his work is definitely very impressive. He takes his time, like in a way that a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
He kind of just meanders around, lets the tension build, and then delivers the climax.
Oh yeah.
And what you were saying earlier about like dialogue being one of the few things that people, like, anyone can pick up on, but it's like hard to like nail. That's honestly, like, I feel like that's a lot of stuff that artists do is something that like a person, a consumer can say is like, okay, something's wrong with this, but you train for years to know how to fix it right off the bat.
And it's it's also one of those things where it's like, damn it, I just lost my train of thought. The fuck. Ah well, it might come back to me. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like very inherently good at even like saying, like, telling me what's wrong. Like, I knew a lot of people, like, I've always been considered like the art kid because I drew a lot, but I was never more like, I was always worse than the people who drew just like once every year, just like a random doodle, because they had a lot of inherent talent, I felt, and I was just like kind of brute forcing it.
Yeah, it's
but those people. Oh, what was it?
No, go ahead, finish. Sorry, I was cutting you off.
Yeah, I was just saying like those people, like, they could always tell what was wrong with the drawing, and I'd be like, oh dang.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who just kind of have an inherent, I guess, eye for that stuff. But at the same time, like, it's also definitely a foundational knowledge thing as well. Like, I know, like, there are people who are like, I guess there are people who are capable of learning things faster, but I don't really think there's ever an artist out there who's like just out of the gate always going to be a naturally, like, just super gifted artist. Like, I think it comes down just more how people process information. Some people process it faster, or they have a, like, you could be one of the Kim Jong G's with like the crazy memory. But other than that, like, the foundational skill is the same for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Like, people who are able to internalize what they see better and recreate it in their minds to draw are like the ones who are more quote unquote talented.
Yeah.
But
it's at the end of the day, like, if they don't practice, the people who are quote unquote less talented they're gonna catch up and surpass them. I mean, I'm someone who I need, like, you can scroll back through my Instagram years back and see what I made. Like, it took me a long time to get stuff down, refine, and I'm still refining to this day and improving and stuff. I still look at the old the beginning chapters of Volume 1 that I need to go back and fix and make me cringe a little bit, but it's all part of that journey too. It's also extremely rewarding going back and looking at that stuff. Like, I like to go look at some of the pages from chapter 1 versus now. I'm 156 pages into this book, and I'm looking at the newest pages, and I'm like, damn, I've come a long way since fucking 2021.
Yeah.
So
that's honestly the best part. One of the best parts. I'm just working on one layer because I'm too lazy to switch.
Fair enough. It's probably gonna have a really cool look just using one layer when you're done.
This Vegeta action figure that I have, I got that in Japan as well.
Oh,
I went on a mission to get more Dragon Ball Z related or Dragon Ball related.
Nice. So when did you go to Japan?
It was in May of 2023.
Okay. How was that?
Yeah, it was really nice. It's like let's see, everyone's super friendly, and like everything is very walkable. Like the transit situation is very nice. It feels like a really clean and like pleasant.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
same thing I hear every time. It's just that Japan as a society is very clean, very polite.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always wanted to visit. It's definitely on my bucket list of places I wish to visit one day.
Yeah, definitely. And whenever I go to India, one thing I admire about India is like how lively everything is.
Always something going on.
Also, yeah, it's quite dirty there as well. Something like in places. And then when I like went to Japan, I was admiring how it's like all the good parts of the U.S. and all the good parts of India.
Yeah. Was it just for vacation, or was it like a study abroad or something?
Nah, yeah, I was just chilling with some friends, like a graduation type thing. Even though some of us are not graduated yet.
Okay. Oh, that's how you resize things. Glad I know that for future reference.
What'd you do?
No, it's just on some of the early episodes or previous episodes I've done, I've drawn things that were pretty big, and I just wanted to resize it, but I just figured out that there is an actual bounding box tool thing.
Oh yeah.
So definitely be using that in the future. Krillin,
nice.
18's gonna be giving Krillin a big old smooch on his beautifully bald head.
Yeah, Krillin, he's got a real like very nice design.
Yeah, there's something real satisfying about his design.
Yeah,
like, it's
exactly.
just he's just a little guy trying his best always. He's like always doing the best he can for everyone. And I feel like he doesn't get appreciated enough for it. You know?
Yeah, I feel you. It's like a very whole, very complete design, like character-wise and visually.
Oh yeah. Definitely wish he would get more spotlight. Him and just a lot of the other characters that got sidelined in that series. I wish one day they would just get their times to really shine. But the power scaling is so insane now in Dragon Ball that it's like
yeah. They had to have you seen much of a Dragon Ball Super?
Oh yeah, I've watched all of it.
Okay.
Not to be negative in light of the recent events, but it's just not a huge fan of that series.
Okay, well, yeah, I watched it too, and I thought it was. I thought like when I watch stuff, especially like I don't know, continuations of older work. I'm basically just looking for like, does it channel the spirit of the old work? And I thought it did. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I think it definitely still has. It's definitely distinctly Dragon Ball. Like, it doesn't betray its roots or anything like that.
Yeah, it's fun. And there was a new movie like where two characters, Gohan and Piccolo, who were just like left in the dirt. They got some screen time, and they both.
Yeah, was that 3D film? I never watched
it,
but
okay. And it's Dragon Ball Superhero.
Okay.
And Gohan and Piccolo both got these new forms. If you've seen like Piccolo walking around all orange, that's where that's from.
Yeah.
And Gohan with like the crazy gray hair.
It's I heard his Piccolo's new form is called just Orange. That's
yep.
I was like, really? Orange? Nothing cool? Like, I don't know, Demon Piccolo or something? Yeah. Just straight up after the fruit. Speaking of fruits, have you watched Dragon Ball Abridged?
Dragon Ball Abridged? Like Dragon Ball Kai or Dragon Ball Z Kai?
No, the Abridged YouTube series.
Oh no.
By Team 4 Star? Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Okay. I would I'd recommend it if you want to go back and watch Dragon Ball a different way. They start off with the Saiyan arc, and they've completed it. They completed it all the way up to the end of the Cell arc.
Okay.
They mostly just kind of cut out all the filler, skip to the episodes where things happen. It's just very funny. A lot of the jokes in there kind of fucking timeless.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I'll check it out.
It's a pretty funny series.
Yeah, Dragon Ball. Honestly, like stuff like when I'm watching like nostalgia shows and I'm seeing filler, that's honestly, I feel like that's part of the experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like to sit back and watch the characters goof off.
Yeah, I'm definitely I've never been a pro filler kind of guy. I just I think it's one of the reasons why I adore shows like Chainsaw Man so much, or just stories, because I read the manga. You know, it's continuing now, but you know, the original like just 100 chapter story was very well paced, despite the fact it was super quick, but like it got to the point and it got to it well. I really appreciate stories like that.
Yeah, me too. There's I think I don't know. There's I think there's a time for both.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, I don't like. It's just a personal preference. But if the filler that you have is good, you know, I don't care. As long as it's well written, that's kind of like all that matters to me.
Yeah, but have you seen like? I'm sure you've seen like Mystery Meat Nasir Pasha on what's it called, Instagram. He's did that fan film. Legend.
Yeah, his Dragon Ball. What was it called? Legend.
Yeah, Legend. A Dragon Ball Tale or something like that.
Yeah, dude, that thing was so fucking cool.
Yeah, I really like how he did the new forms.
Oh yeah, his like unrefined sort of Super Saiyan form that damages the body and literally turns them into like mini monkeys.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that. If you guys haven't heard of that and you're Dragon Ball fans, I think the YouTube channel is called Mystery Meat. Either way, I'll put it up on screen. He and a team of animators made this little short, kind of like an alternate Dragon Ball universe, and it totally kicks ass.
Yeah, it's really good. But why did I bring that up? Oh yeah. Since like the designs were super good, and I was looking at Dragon Ball Super, like the Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God, I was thinking of like what would how could this be redesigned to be more visually and like story wise like different, I guess. Yeah,
for sure. It's that is one of the things that contributed to my sort of meh with Super, is just like the oversaturation of the power scaling and stuff. It was getting to the point where it was like there's always a new form. I was thinking, it was one of those things where I thought about it, I was like, how the fuck did Saiyans like not end up ruling the entire universe? Like the fact that y'all have the capability to do this is insane to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never was able to like really take issue. I mean, I guess it's like kind of not the show that you critique so much. You just kind of like enjoy it.
I think it's just my brain. Just because I'm just kind of like that with pretty much anything I watch.
I mean, it's a good mindset.
I'm capable of turning my brain off to watch something like you want me to watch Batman and Robin with fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I will gladly watch that any day of the week because it's so bad it's hilarious. But at the same time, like I think just as an artist myself, like I feel like I should be looking at most art I consume with a critical eye if I want to get better myself.
Oh yeah, that's definitely valid. it's equally important, like if not more important, it's equally important to learn from the shortcomings of others as well as their success.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like I think it's valuable to learn from badly written stuff, you know. But at the same time, it's also I think it's you're gonna learn a lot more if you actually analyze things that are really good and to pick apart why they're so good and why they work, you know. Thing I always like recommend is like you want a good blueprint for a really good story, watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like it's basically to me like the perfect trilogy. Maybe not perfect, that's a strong word, but definitely I think the best written movie trilogy ever made.
I somehow have not seen those yet or read.
Highly recommend. I haven't read the books. I've just seen the movies. And the movies are fantastic.
What sort of book series have you read? Like, do you like?
Honestly, I don't read a whole lot of like traditional books. I guess semi-recently, like in the past years, I really like Heart of Darkness. That's a good one. If you're into like science fiction, some like classic sci-fi body horror stuff, there's a short book called The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. That's an old book, but it's classic, about a guy who's like a mad scientist on an island, like creating human animal hybrids.
Nice.
But that's the last book I read, and that was like 2.5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I have not read too many like traditional books recently either. Actually, I've been consuming a lot of comics and manga to prepare myself. I was doing a lot of Akira. I've been reading Akira.
Oh, nice.
I did a bunch of studies earlier, but that was before I read any. And while I was reading the manga, I was like, oh, I studied this panel, I studied this panel.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've basically been just reading mostly comics and manga. It's kind of the only like actual books that I read nowadays.
Yeah, same.
If you want a really good recent comic that I read, it's called I Kill Giants. It's a one book from beginning to end. There's no like, it's not like done in volumes. That's a really
graphic novel.
Yeah. It's illustrated by Ken Nomura, if you know that artist.
Who?
Ken Nomura.
I do not know.
Oh, I mean, his art is really, really good. He's definitely got a lot of manga inspiration for sure, but it's a really like short, heartwarming book, and just as a little like character study story, I think it's really good. So that's the most recent like comic I've started and finished, and I'm reading some ongoing mangas right now. So.
But yeah, like which?
Hold up, let me pull up my phone. Chainsaw Man, I'm still keeping up with. Which I think it's starting to pick up again. There was a big part of the sort of sequel series where it was kind of losing me. Let's see. There's another story I like called I really don't know how to pronounce this name. Miruko-chan. It's, I don't know if you heard it. It's about this girl who randomly one day was able to start seeing spirits and like spirits of the dead.
Okay.
But
I've heard of it.
Her whole gimmick is that she just acts like she can't see them, because if she does, I think like the spirits become aggressive and like try to attack her. So I like it because you know me, I love horror. I love body horror and like all that creepy shit. And some of the monster like sort of ghost designs in that book are creepy as hell. Like artist does a really good job at like morphing the human body to look as uncanny as possible.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of horror also.
Yeah, so those are a couple I'm reading. What are you reading?
I'm reading Nothing ongoing. I've been looking back at Doctor Stone, reading that. I've
Okay.
been I started Vagabond the
Oh,
other day.
nice. Yeah, I need to start Vagabond. I've read portions of it, but I've got to pick it back up.
Yeah, and I've also been. Oh yeah, Akira. That's what I mentioned.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so much knowledge out there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so some of that classic stuff is crazy good.
Yeah.
I went back and watched this old like vampire sort of like 90s movie. It was called Vampire D something. It's like the epitome of like that classic you know, late 80s 90s anime art style.
Mm-hmm.
All you know, hand drawn frame by frame stuff, like, and just super fucking smooth. They knew what they were doing back then for sure.
Yeah, it's they I think there's definitely like a element of care that is some cases is like starting to dwindle now as people try and put stuff out faster.
Yeah, I was about to say, I definitely think it's because of the mostly the industry than anything else. You know, like the shit when you hear shit like Mappa not being able to finish a fight scene in a show in Jujutsu Kaisen because they're basically animating each episode every week, like like massive crunch time nonsense. Yeah. And it's just like when you watch the cutscene, I thought it was like a stylistic choice, and then I go online and someone's like, yeah, no, they said it was only 30% done or some shit. I was like, fucking hell, man. Dang. Just let them finish the episode, please. Please.
Yeah, I do not envy the animators there. They work.
No, yeah. Definitely doesn't feel like they're working in very humane conditions.
Yeah, no. But their sacrifice is very much
it's what you're doing is very, I just want you to know, I do watch it while I eat food. I appreciate it. You know, you're making my meals more fun. Thank you, Mappa, officially from Spice Capital. Keep doing what you're doing.
Man, poor guys.
Yeah, no, really, it's that is, you know, that is one thing about Japan that I always seems to slip a lot of people's minds. Like, the work culture there is extremely toxic, from what I hear.
Yeah. Like, it is.
I rarely hear positive things about the work culture in Japan.
Yeah, they've got a book called like Death of the Working Man or something like that, and it talks all about it. I've not read it, but like from the summaries, like yeah, not great.
Which is a shame, because like Japanese artists are some of the best in the world for a lot of content. I don't know, have you watched the recent Godzilla -1 film?
I've not, but I've heard of it.
So fucking good. Pretty sure I've already brought this up on another episode, but God, like, genuinely, it quickly became not only my favorite Godzilla film, but one of my favorite films ever.
I need to watch.
It's one of those Godzilla films where they're like, you know what? Let's actually make human characters that the audience wants to be attached to and want to see them develop. And they did that. They created a set of characters, and there isn't a single one I didn't like in the film. They managed to make each one like have a story or some sort of personality that I could vibe with.
Yeah, it's impressive making. I like. Yeah, it's very easy to make a Godzilla movie about the big lizard.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's what we're doing here in the States, but it also shows if you take the time to make a well-written film with characters that people will care about, it's gonna have a much longer lasting impact. Because it's like one of those things. It's like, how many people really talk about some of the previous American Godzilla films? Like, not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. Yeah.
Godzilla -1, it got like second, like it once it came out, it was only supposed to be limited viewing in the States, but it got so popular they just kept opening it up in more theaters. They opened up a second version where it was all in black and white.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So it's just like when it goes to show when you really put a lot of effort and passion to that writing, it's gonna stick with people a lot more.
I hope in the upcoming Dragon Ball anime, Dragon Ball Daima.
Is that sort of like alternate universe one where?
I don't know like what.
Again?
Yeah, I think it just like it's in the same universe. I think they just like it's like another. Like they're picking up the premise of GT again, and they're turning all the cast into kids in the same universe.
Okay, I'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a sign that there will be more interesting Super Saiyan forms.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since there was any Dragon Ball anime. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, when did Super end? Like
2015.
Jesus, that's almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah, yep.
Wait, it ended in 2015?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's I'm not doubting you. It's just like I'm 22. I'll be 23 in November. I was a fucking child. That's crazy.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even like. I watched all of Dragon Ball Z, etc., all the way to the end of Dragon Ball Super, but I watched it all like on Funimation, not when it was coming out. I would see Dragon Ball episodes when I was little, but I watched it start to finish just like a couple of years ago. And then when I finished, it was still like 2023 or 2022. I'm like, oh, okay, when's the next one coming out? And then I realized that there hasn't been any new stuff since 2015, and I was very sad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, whether it'll be super good or not, I don't know, but I'm be damn sure I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna enjoy it no matter what.
Yeah, I think 18 is just gonna be perpetually bisected. Whoa! No.
Oh, oops. Did not mean to cut out a part of her with the Vegeta's tail.
No, it's because I drew her on top of Vegeta. I didn't want to cover up Vegeta's wonderful, wonderful tail. That would have been a crime. She's gonna stay bisected though, because I'm ready to move. I'm gonna move on to something
let's
new.
give her a little leg here.
Oh yeah. Look at her go. Krillin, I love you.
Android 18 could like feasibly
survive. Bisect and survive. Krillin accidentally hit her with a fucking Destructo disc one day.
Yeah, she's like, don't worry about it.
So Bulma built her like little baby fucking legs.
Yeah, they're like in the middle of a battle, and they're like, all right, this is all I have time for. I'm sorry. She's like, all right, okay, whatever. I've been through worse.
It's okay. Now I can finally experience what it's like to have Krillin be taller than me.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
look at her little fucking legs.
Oh, nice. Not bad. I'm not too devastated with how this came out.
No, it looks fucking badass.
I was just kind of getting lost in the details, and my first time
paid off.
Stepping back. Thank you. Yeah, the Krillin looks really good. I think it's pretty impressive how you are able to like make stuff like this without any like underwork.
Oh, thank you.
And like you like colored it and whatnot. Like I know we had a lot of discussion about speeding up the comic process, and you were showing me your roughs, and you're like, here are my roughs, and then here are my line art, and I'm like, yo, take a step back. The roughs look incredible. Just use that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, after it wasn't the first time I've had that conversation with people, and it's just getting to the point where it's like, you know, I do want to get it out faster, but also like I find myself making, I think, generally just better work when it's when I just go into it with the roughs. Like my brain is like I feel like I'm a lot more free flowing when I do that.
Take this Vegeta and put him out of the way as well. All right, I have selected him. How do I Oh, I see it.
Just use the little bounding box thing.
Yeah. Is there a way to keep the proportions steady or?
You're just gonna have to freehand it.
All right, yeah, that's
just
no
have to
big deal.
be. Yeah, look at it.
All right, here we go.
That looks like a cool. From when I zoom out, that looks like a cool fucking little sticker icon. Oh, if you want, put him on top of.
Yeah, let me do that.
On top of, yeah, there we go. He's fucking, he's killing. He's gonna kill Kakarot. That's.
No.
There he goes. That's the end of Goku. He's just getting fucking obliterated.
Oh man. It's like I'm not even in front of your hand. What's happening?
There we go. That's the end of fucking Goku's dumbass. Hey Vegeta, I unlocked a new form that you don't have yet.
No, I'm sick of it. I can't. I'm done. All right, come here.
I want to be Super Saiyan. I wanna.
Have you been? Have you seen the manga, the Dragon Ball Super manga?
No, I haven't.
Well, so after Goku unlocks Ultra Instinct, you know Ultra Instinct from the anime. Vegeta, you know, like there was like a teaser of Vegeta like going a different path. Like he had a Super Saiyan blue that was like slightly darker blue than the other blue. And then in the manga that evolves into him unlocking this form called Ultra Ego, where his hair is purple.
I've heard of that, and he loses his eyebrows, right? For some fucking reason.
He does lose the eyebrows.
Just burns straight off.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, maybe could have left those on, but yeah, it's interesting to see. I think it's like something to do with the destroyer power.
Interesting. All right.
So I like this Krillin arm. It's a good.
Thank you. No, yeah, I think my favorite is Vegeta fucking just obliterating carrot cake out of the fucking sky.
Let's see. We could maybe do like a concept art thing together. We can design something other.
Okay. You want to design a character, maybe 2 characters? We each take one.
Yeah, we could design like. I mean, like we could like set up a situation and then design, or we can maybe generate a couple random emojis, and then we each do a character with those emojis.
I do have an idea. So I'm in this Discord server for this new webcomic site. I got invited to join it, and it's called Inkverse and Tatty Ink, and that's what that's a new website I put the comic on. And they had like a character workshop, and what we did was we went on this website that generated random adjectives, and you create a character based off of those adjectives.
Yeah, sure. You want to maybe like get a set of emojis and then like combine them with adjectives and then work off of that, so our characters kind of look similar.
Sure. Here, since I've got screen recording on the iPad, and I'll just cut it to make sure it looks nice. So let's do, I guess, a random emoji generator.
Yeah, you can do like 2 or 3 random emojis.
And then I'll do 1 adjective. And then we can draw them like together. Like we can say they're like fucking partners or something, you know?
Yeah.
So how many emojis you think?
I think 3 or 2 is also fine.
All right,
we can do 3.
Yeah, 2 unique ones. Wait, what does unique mean? It has unique with a question mark.
Unique means like if you don't select that, there could be like 2 bear emojis and 1 train. Unique will mean like there won't be duplicates.
Oh no, okay, that's what I figured. I just didn't know what the website meant by it. All right, the first 2 emojis. You can't see my screen, but I can send it to you in Discord. Is an earth and a car.
Earth and car. Okay.
And we'll generate 2 more, and I guess we can just you can pick whichever one you want to do. So let's randomize 2 more.
We can do the same ones. We can like so we can see our different takes on the same
Okay.
emojis and slash adjectives.
So so how about this? Same emojis, different adjectives. So we end
Okay,
up,
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I like
adjective generator.
All right, let's run it back on the car and the earth though.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm calling. We each get one re-roll, and I'm using mine.
okay. So the new reroll is a checkered flag and a pepper. You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to use it. You can go with the first one if you want.
No, I like this better than the.
All right. So we'll roll with the checkered flag and the pepper, and for adjectives, I don't want 1,000 random adjectives. I just want one. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Number of adjectives 1. Generate random. Cultured.
Cultured. Okay.
Do we want to roll with cultured? Do we want to use a re-roll?
I mean, do you want to take this one, or do you want or who's getting this one?
Well, I thought. Well, I don't know. I'm saying.
I'll take cultured. I don't want to be like popping out of.
No, you're fine.
Everything.
All right. Then I'll roll another one. Jagged.
Let me do it.
So do you want cultured or jagged?
I'll take cultured since
okay.
I already.
So we're both creating a character based off of a checkered flag and a pepper. And yours is culture. Your adjective is cultured, and mine is jagged.
All right.
All right. Let's see what we fucking come up with.
Let me draw these little things here so everyone can see. Is it like a chili pepper, right?
Yeah, it just looks like a little chili pepper.
All right.
Yeah, perfect. And then
a little green here.
Culture. Jagged.
What exactly does it mean to be cultured?
I don't know. That's why I was offering you the reroll if you wanted like an actual like visual descriptor.
Let me just look up cultured person and see what comes up.
All right.
And if I don't get anything interesting, then I'll summon my.
Because it's probably, I was offering it just because it's probably easier to do it based off of like a visual descriptor. But,
yeah, I mean, or at least like a personality thing that's.
Well, the thing with
little.
Calling someone cultured is weird because like I don't think there's a single human being that doesn't technically have culture. So it's it's a little weird.
Okay, I think I will use my reroll in that case.
Let's reroll. Square.
Square. All right, sure.
All right.
He
can be boring or he can be a literal blocky. He can be a blocky fellow. Or she. I don't know. It's up to you. So when you go about designing characters, like for say your comic, what's your process for that?
I don't know. Let me think about it.
Alright.
Because honestly, given that I've had like the same characters kind of in essence, I've just been. I'll just come up with ideas. Like say I want this character to be able to do this. I'll just start off from one point. Say like these characters should be a race of aliens that are super intelligent, and then I'll be like, okay, I want them to be so intelligent that they can have multiple brain thought processes going at once.
Okay.
And then off of that, I'll design their bodies. Like maybe they have more than one set of arms or an eye, so that they can accommodate that. And then I'll also be like, where will they be in their evolutionary stage, given that they're so smart and advanced? And I'll maybe they don't need a stomach or something or maybe they don't need all the organs we have or all the bones we have, something like that. And I guess I'll just start with function and then give them their form.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting way of going about it. So
what about you?
For me, it's usually depending on what my story needs. a lot of the times it's usually the visuals come first. Um, like Where the Humans Go, for example, became a story just because I made random character designs and I decided to use them as the main characters for the comic. But I guess in terms of like since then, actually creating characters for the story usually depends on what kind of story I'm trying to tell first. So like with the story I'm trying to tell, you know, without spoiling it, it has a need for characters in a military organization. So then I gotta start like writing what the fuck writing what this military organization is, this fictional one, what it's about, what do they do, what's their purpose, and then I have to start creating characters that can fit within those roles that an organization like that would need, and it just keeps snowballing, you know, from there. And then same thing for basically any other, you know, quote unquote faction, I guess, in the story. I come up with more. So I guess for me, it's more about world building. Like that's where it comes from. Where Where the Humans Go started with those three characters, but then I had to figure out a world to put them in. So I did that, and from that world building, I ended up creating more and more characters.
That's cool. I mean, I like in some ways I feel like that's similar to how I do it, like from the world building step. And I also would have like I would come up with characters, and then I'd kind of adapt them to fit the race based on how I described earlier. And like obviously from like for a personality perspective, if they're like someone who is angry and fast moving, you give them like kind of sharp features.
Yeah, for sure.
And if they like don't fit in, then you might make their clothes not fit them, kind of deal. Like, so yeah, there's like utility, and there's like purpose, and there's world building.
Yeah.
That's why designing characters is very fun.
It's super fun. There's so much to think about when designing a character. Like everything about the characters you make are going to inform their personalities and their actual character writing. Like I guess an example of mine that sort of most people who know me know about is like Cinnabon. Everything about her was originally started with just being creepy, but then I started changing some tiny aspects of her character here and there, and it became more like a lot of the aspects of her design are very purposeful now into how she acts as a character and sort of like her philosophies on and everything on life. So like this whole idea of like she's this like super happy-go-lucky little girl, very hyperactive, always tries to see the best in everything, but she's got probably one of the more horrific looking chimera forms in the story compared to the other ones, which is really purposeful because it's like that's an aspect of herself that troubles her a lot. And so like a character's design can absolutely tell most of the story on its own if done right.
And I can't wait to see like as Cinnabon starts to come into her own and like get into like fights and start to pull like like find out how to control her powers and stuff.
It's
gonna be very cool.
It's definitely gonna be a big part of the story. So I'm very excited to get to it as well. That's definitely going to be a volume 2 thing. I can say that much at least. Volume 1 is a lot of setup, a lot of character stuff, which I like to do.
Yeah, definitely. That's one problem that I kind of had. I was kind of jumping right into action where people like to see a lot of character like world building, character building, like that.
It's again, it's like that whole balance thing, like we were saying, personally, like I'm in favor of, like, you can start your story with action for sure, but uh, as long as that action informs the characters, and like action can be some of the best kind of written, content there is.
No, yeah, no, yeah. I mean,
Like,
I didn't. Yeah, yeah.
no,
I didn't mean like.
I
I didn't
understand
like
what you're
action.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, I get what you mean. I completely understand what you mean, but it's like, I think a good example of this is like something like John Wick. I think the first one. I don't like any of the sequels, but like that's a movie that's like filled with action, but like the action informs every character that's on screen and how they act and how they respond to situations. So that's what I love about action so much, how much character writing you can just pull from it, if you're doing it in a way where you're paying attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't mean like action as in like, fighting, fast-paced events like that, because that I feel like no matter where you are in the story should definitely be like included, so that it's fast, like, so it's like interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm like, like the key events, I guess that's like what you want. Like if Dragon Ball had started with Goku going Super Saiyan, we wouldn't care, like that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it would be like, well, that's a thing he can do apparently.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a problem that I had, like jumping into the hype parts of the story, even though like the hype only existed in my head and not in the story.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing of like getting so hyped for and excited to tell your own story that you can kind of turn a blind eye to some of the more objective, writing practices to keep in mind. That was definitely something I should like. Originally, the final chapter of my comic was going to be like this big fucking action sequence. Like that was the idea I had in my mind since like I started writing the comic. Was I wanted to end it off on this certain fight between these certain two characters, and it was going to be crazy. Like shit was going to go down. I was super excited, and then one day I was just kind of thinking about it and thinking about the direction I was going. I was like, damn, it wouldn't work narratively at all. It would actually kind of go. It would actually be kind of really stupid if I did it like that, because like a certain other characters involved would not want conflict to be the first resolution at all. So it's like, damn it, I gotta scrap it all and start over. And that was at some point like last year when I did that, and part of me was like really sad, but I'm also with all the redrafts I did for that script, I was like, it's just much better written than what I had before.
Yeah. Starting over is a universal
redraft.
Art.
Yep. That's one of the biggest things I can give to any writer. Like, just if you're starting to learn how to write and you want to write your own stories, redraft all the time. Share it with other people, get other people's opinions, unbiased opinions, and constantly.
Do not be afraid.
Yeah, constantly redraft. Because the thing with writing is like usually your first idea, and this goes with like anything like art, design. Your first idea is usually not your best one.
Yeah, it's usually the worst.
Yeah, it's most definitely like typically always the worst. There's some occasions where like you can create a drawing or character design, what you had in the beginning was just better, but most of the time that's like a fluke, and what you end up creating through trusting sort of the artistic process is always going to end up being better. So, but yeah, it's a fun process. I do enjoy writing and sort of imagining. That's one of the funnest parts for me, is like I'm just writing and I'm like, damn, I can't wait to draw this. It's gonna be so fucking epic.
Yep. Man, I have when I'm doing emoji stuff, emoji based character designs like this, I have to remind myself like to take the essence of the of the items and put them in the character design rather than like literally include them.
I haven't looked at yours yet, but I will. Um, I like to surprise myself whenever I have people on here. I do what I'm doing first, and then I wait till they're done.
That's a good idea. I've just been kind of zoomed out, so I've been seeing yours happen in real time.
Yeah, no, it's cool. That's just a thing for me. You can do whatever the hell you want. Like I just like doing that because it's fun for me, and but yeah, you can peek at mine as much as you want. So for your comic, are you planning to make it like upload it online first and then print it, or you want to make it and go straight to print? For like that's what you want to do completely and totally.
I'm unsure. Like I think I'll have at least one chapter free online to read, and then I'll try to do a print run first, and then I guess based on how that goes, I can also offer a digital like release as well.
So kind of like like a cheaper like PDF version or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But since it'll be my first like release, I wonder if it'd be just a better idea to do it all digital. But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, nothing's like even if you do it and it's not exactly as you hoped. I mean, you could always make another. But if it's a story that you're super passionate about, then yeah, could be a good idea to try and do it online first. But depends on because print runs are pretty unreliable. And like doing it on print is like you don't know really what the turnout's gonna be sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm confident if you make something, it can go well for sure.
I appreciate the vote of confidence. So it's always very nerve-wracking, all this stuff, like.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, that's like, I guess we've made it this far. There's no way we're gonna just give up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if one is for one thing, I've always been prepared to one day, if need be, just move on to a different story.
Exactly.
Like I love the story I've been working on, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and sometimes you just got to learn to let it go. Nobody says you can't go back to it one day either. Like if you create another story in the future that does really, really well, who's to say you can't just pick up the other story again and try and resell that idea with like the newfound sort of popularity
exactly.
as a writer.
And like all your current work on that story can be used as like a test run to remake it too.
Absolutely.
You get the whatever insight and go. That's kind of like what happened to me with this recent comic chapter I made. It was like a 15-page one shot essentially. And yeah, I was able to learn that. I mean, the story as I've currently written it I think still holds up, and I think it's still good. It just needed another volume to make it even better. Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes, just to
and honestly, a
little extra time.
Yep, and I think this book is actually my best one yet, the new one that I ended up writing.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it. I'm very excited to see like what it is, and
I'm really excited to share
and get into that.
Alright, I'm trying to add a little bit more inspiration to my design.
All right. Vehicles never cease to be hard to draw.
Yeah, I don't have like any experience drawing them either.
I've definitely, I used to like not be able to draw vehicles at all, even with reference. Now I can, with reference, I can draw a pretty accurate looking vehicle with enough time. But drawing it from memory is still it's very difficult for me.
Yeah, it's understandable.
It's very They usually look like a bunch of blobs of random things put together that have circles on them.
Yeah, but it's like it is cool that after you draw a little while, you can start just throwing basic shapes together to get something.
Yeah.
And then you can just do studies to increase your skill.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I like to draw a lot without reference, especially on things that I think I understand pretty well, and then use reference for them a couple times, and then just go for a while without to try and just build memory for it, and also kind of like I think it helps me develop my own ideas and styles for stuff without like relying too much on copying what already exists.
Yeah, true. Normally, I'm like a pretty big proponent of like getting as much inspiration as possible. But I was doing like an architectural study or architectural design for one of my places in my comic recently, and I just kind of decided to approach it like I just without any reference. I just kind of drew random shapes until something clicked, and then I was able to figure out like the rules that made it click and start designing in that language.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, I've always been, you know, like you said, a proponent of like using references as much as you can and studying and stuff, but I think it's also important to just kind of work off of your own imagination a lot, and see what you can come up with. And you know, if it like a lot of times what happens is I'll end up coming with an idea I really like that I just can't like draw on my own. Like I just can't get the image out of my head onto the screen, onto the canvas. And then once I look up some references, I'm able to flesh out that idea I had before without the reference.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's always like a mix mash. You want to use references for the things you don't understand, and for the things you do, try and make that your own thing a little bit.
Yeah.
While not deviating too much to the point where it's like, you know, it breaks suspension of disbelief or something.
I'm liking the this character. I like the heels. I like the claw feet.
Oh yeah, she's got little blade feet. Gotta keep her jagged.
Oh yeah.
Gave her some like fucking PS2 Lara Croft.
Yeah, I see.
Make her all polygonal.
I think I'm upholding the square design pretty well over here.
I'm excited to see it. Oh, another we were talking about recent stuff we've been reading and watching. I've been watching a show animated by Studio Trigger, so you already know it's gonna be fun to watch at least. It's called Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh yep, I've heard of it.
I would definitely recommend watching it. It's a super, I think it's a very creative take on fantasy, especially with the direction of the story goes. Just the concept of like adventurers surviving in a dungeon for an extended period of time by just eating the monsters and like cooking traditional dishes with them.
Yeah,
is already like just a super fun concept in itself. But the art style and character designs and monster designs in the show are really cool. A lot of interesting, like they have this whole thing where they delve deep in sort of like the ecological ecosystem of the dungeon, and how it sustains itself and how it relates to the fantasy world outside of it. I was like, so like definitely a cool watch for people like building any sort of like fantasy genre, even if it's like like with yours, like yours is like an alien sort of space themed sci-fi, but like the amount of detail that go into like explaining how the ecosystem in a dungeon in the story works is super cool.
No, yeah, now that you mention it, now that you like say that, I definitely am going to watch it.
I highly recommend. So a pretty lighthearted story too. It's a very easy watch. It doesn't delve too deep. It's not like dark fantasy or anything, you know. It's definitely more in the even lighter than like Lord of the Rings. It's high fantasy, very lighthearted. A lot of good comedy. So, yeah. All you watching, go watch Delicious in Dungeon. It makes you hungry. So make sure you watch it while eating something, so you don't get jealous. It's like, damn, that fucking troll looks tasty.
Roast troll.
That roast troll soup. You know, I think that she kind of just looks like a weird dinosaur thing.
She's like a demon.
Yeah.
Like a fire demon vibe going.
Definitely the fire is what I'm going for with the hair. Got like little flamey bits. Well, since I'm coloring it, I finished drawing it. I'm gonna look at yours. Whoa!
I got like a. I'm trying to go for like a little firefighter vibe with the gas mask, like you know, Chile. They've got a very a strong, like, you know, what is it like you rub it on your eyes or you breathe it in,
yeah,
whatever.
It's that spice hits you.
Yeah,
It's gonna burn.
So yeah, I'm looking for. I'm kind of going for like using the checkered pattern of the flag to indicate that heat-resistant material, you know, that you have on kitchen baking gloves or whatever, like oven gloves, oven mitts, and then
that's
so like
dope.
Again, like that heat-resistant, like spice fighter kind of person in there.
Yeah, that's fucking.
And then
cool.
With like the square, like, you know, square, like when you see the square in character design, you think like safety, reliability.
She looks like someone who I could, like, I'm I'm in some trouble. She'll be there to help me out for sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think I'm liking the design.
Awesome.
I like yours too. Yours is
Thank
you lived up to the jaggedness, the spice of the what is it, the chili, and now I'm seeing the checkered pattern here on the clothes too. Very nice.
Yeah, give her a little motorcycle, like she's a, you know, she's a rider. Maybe like a sort of I'm thinking in my mind some sort of like Mad Max.
Yeah, no, I see it. Mad Max.
Like post-apocalyptic, you know, racer. You know, it's like race to the death type beat.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna color the bike because fuck it, I don't feel like it. Flam in the hair, and then probably good to go with. Got a little bit more space. We can fill it up with whatever the fuck we want.
Let's see.
Got any other ideas for what you want to draw?
Well, we could do another character design, but I mean, if you like, we did one already, so I'm sure we could find something else.
I'm down to do whatever. If that's what you want to do, we can.
I'm just thinking, is there anything else? Let me go to the bathroom again. I drink a ton of water.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, yeah, 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think we'll do that. If he's up for it. He's probably up for it. This fucking guy over here, guys, I've got it wrapped around my fingers. He does whatever the fuck I say, whatever I want him to do, he does it immediately. It's like a really weird little thing we got going on. He doesn't really know how to think for himself. You know what I mean? He went to Japan because I told him to. And that Vegeta statue, I just told him to buy that for me. Don't plan on paying him back for it either.
Alright, I'm back. Hope no one's talking any type of shit about me.
No.
I just was in the bathroom.
No, of course not.
I put my headphones on and immediately unmuted myself and announced myself without listening to anything that was happening. So yeah, I'm just gonna trust in the fact that I won't watch this back and hear myself getting lampooned.
No, but I had a little idea. What if we describe unreleased, unseen characters that we have to each other, and we try and draw it just based off of those descriptions?
Okay, let me think if I don't have any characters who are like easy to describe and not draw perfectly, because
Well, you don't need to give specific details. Like, give, like the major ones. Like, you know, if one of the big things about the character is that they have a big horn on their head and a tail, like mention that. But then I would say describe like their personality and maybe what they do, and that's it.
Okay.
And like, and I'll do the same. So.
Okay. Oh, I think I have a good one. This one's not from my comic, but it's a character I've not shown in a long time, and I think it would be pretty interesting to draw.
All right. Yeah. Lay it on me.
Okay. Okay. So basically, this character is like it's just a human brain that has been placed into the body of a zombie and given like control over it with chemicals and other wiring.
Okay.
And they're like a kind of angry, always in pain, limping around, and carries a sawed-off shotgun.
Okay. So carries sawed-off shotgun. All right. Yeah. Let's see what I can. I'll come up with some for that. All right. So for mine, he is a very old and ancient character. He's very large, but we don't have a lot of space, so you don't have to actually draw him like big as fuck. But he is big as fuck. It's to the point where his existence was written in biblical scripture. He has, kind of weird that I brought this up for. He has one big horn that sticks out of the middle of his head.
Okay.
He's sort of built. He's sort of built like very stocky. So I think of like really stocky torso with lanky muscular arms and legs.
Okay.
And his main form of, I'll just say, attacking is like, you know, he charges straight at his enemies.
Okay.
He's like a fucking linebacker.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that, and I'll see what you make with that. And I'll make this interesting zombie fellow. Say this. We'll draw these last two characters, and then I'll end the recording there because we're at 1 hour 46 already.
All right. Yeah. No one's ever stood my company for this long, so I can understand.
No. The first guest did, dude. The first episode is hour 45. That's after the editing and cutting stuff out. Like, so don't worry about being on for too long.
No, I was just kidding.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I don't want to make anyone feel like guilty or something.
All right. Let's see. I wrote down your thing.
Yep, got yours. What I like about doing stuff like this is sometimes you get cooler ideas from other people who are better than you, and then
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe my zombie guy will get a little touch of creativity here.
Exactly.
All right, time to look up what a stocky body type. I'm not sure if I.
Have you watched Attack on Titan?
Yes.
Think something like, I guess, similar to the Beast Titan. You know, really stocky, wide body with his lanky arms.
Okay, like the long, thin arms.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool. All right, and I will take up the space underneath the.
All right, sounds good.
And then afterwards, we can show off like the actual character design and compare.
Yeah, sure. I'll send it to you, and you send it to me, and I'll make sure to put it up on screen so people watching can see that. I already like the concept of yours. Like, it's like somebody got like the shit end of the stick of being RoboCop. Instead of getting the cool like robo body where you can like take out people really quick, you're put in the body of like an already dead guy.
Yep, that's kind of the thing. Like, he's basically somebody else's experiment. Like the brain was plucked out of a dying body and put into a zombie, and it's like an experiment. Can I keep the zombie body alive with chemicals and control it with a human brain?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh dang, I'm liking this already. I'm not zoomed in too much so I can see what you're doing. Very nice. Wow.
Thank you. I'm keeping your side a secret till I'm ready, because I'm gonna be surprised. But I know whatever you make, it's gonna be fucking badass, and I'm probably gonna steal a couple ideas from it.
Yeah, likewise. I first this zombie character. I first created him when I got super sick, and I had like the worst couple of weeks of sickness that I'd ever had. And I like conceived this guy in my head.
It's like this is me. This
how
is,
I feel.
This is going to be me in a few days. I'm dying. My body's gonna be taken by a mad scientist and turned into a freak.
Yeah, bro. That's just like how my representation of how I feel when I get too sick with my little cold.
Art imitates life. Man, my dumbass thought this was Procreate, and I held out a line thinking I was gonna get a straight line.
Yeah, Clip Studio Paint does stuff like that too.
I've heard good things about Clip Studio. Didn't they move to like a subscription-based service though?
Yeah, there's like a new version, Clip Studio Paint 2, and that is subscription based. I just have stuck to Clip Studio Paint 1, which I got for $50.
50.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I guess it does offer a lot.
It's $50 to buy it. I bought it. I got it for $25 because I had a discount when I got my Wacom tablet.
Oh, nice. I've been pretty loyal to Procreate since like I want to say late 2020. Damn, almost 4 years now. But definitely just love how cheap, like for what the price you pay for, what you get out of it.
Yeah, Procreate is definitely hands down best value for money.
Yeah, but I mean, I know Clip Studio just has a lot of features that Procreate doesn't have.
Yeah, that is.
But I guess it depends on like your needs or whatever. Like me as an artist, I don't really need a whole lot to be able to do what I want to do. So Procreate fills those needs of really all I wanted to do is make my comic and make character designs, and you can definitely do that with ease. So
yeah, I mean, you really like all you need to like, even with just like paper or pen, like that's all you really need. But you like, since I use a tablet instead of an iPad, I just got Clip Studio Paint. I don't even like. There's a lot of features that I've never taken the time to explore, but the pre-included dialogue tags are fun, and like the manga panels, like the pre-included manga panels, functionality, those are nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what I love about comics in general, though, is that like it's such a low, like it's such an easy startup for anybody. Like to do things like make film or anything like that, that's like inevitably going to cost you some money to make anything that like has a ton of quality to it. But with telling stories through comics, like, dude, as long as you've got some paper and a pen or pencil that draws, you can make something that's really fucking good.
Yeah. It's there's like it's a very low entry level, but there's also like so much knowledge expression that you can do.
Oh yeah, it's a high low what's the phrase for video games?
Skill expression, or like skill expression for like how far you can go, but for entry, I guess, and I don't know.
Low, I guess low entry skill, but high skill ceiling, I guess is the way to put it. Like, you're still gonna have to learn the fundamentals and all that, but like, once you get there, just good.
Yeah, and also it's like so much of it is not even about art; it's about writing.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the crux of it. If your story is bad, your art's not really gonna save that.
Yeah, that's one thing that it took me 5 or 6 years too long to learn.
And I think it's a thing that a lot of people who get into comics and manga, I think that's just a natural thing people do. Like because they went into it loving the art, they assume the art is the most important thing because it's like the main form of telling the story in a comic, which is in a sense true. You know, you want the art to be high quality, but at the same time, then you have people like the creator of One Punch Man and Mob Psycho, like, you know, his art's by no means like, it's not bad, it's not like childish or anything, but you know, for a typical popular manga or webcomic, what he makes isn't on that same level. But because the story captivated so many people, you know, it ended up reaching those goals.
Yep.
So yeah, writing is definitely the most important thing.
Yeah, me over here, like preaching just the most basic shit ever.
Yeah, it's like we're fucking sitting here acting like we're telling anything new.
I have a hunch that if you want to learn how to write a story, you should learn how to write a story.
Yeah, that's why people come to Spice Cabinet for this fucking great advice you won't hear from anyone ever. But it's true. And if the thing is though, if more people knew it, we wouldn't get things like current Star Wars or Marvel, or you know, The Last of Us being ruined, or
The Last of Us?
The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, the game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not too caught up with what happened with that. What was the... Oh,
it's just a really horribly written story.
Oh, man.
It's just, you know, I will forever be salty about that. I don't think like anytime we, like, me and my like friends and I or colleagues, we talk about like stories or anything, and like the mention of a bad story, like my brain, like every time without fail, like it just lives in my head rent free. I'll be like, yeah, like The Last of Us Part 2, and then everyone in my friend group groans because I always bring it up.
It's time to talk about Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah,
oh, man.
It's like, hey, you guys did this to yourself. I usually keep it on a short leash though. I don't like just start ranting about it, but I say it once.
Well, I mean, if you want to rant about it here, well,
I've ranted about it so many times. Maybe one day I'll rant about it again, but
pull it out of the closet.
If it's been too long without ranting about it, maybe one day on an episode I will. But genuinely one of like the worst sequels to an otherwise fantastic first game ever created. That's okay.
Did you see the show?
I did. I enjoyed the show. I thought it was a pretty interesting adaptation. I think the video game still did it better, and I think the video game had the sort of advantage of being like a 14-hour long game, so you spent way more time with the characters. I think that would have been one thing for the show. Like, if it was longer, I think it would have been much better off for it. Because we could have spent more time with Joel and Ellie and stuff. Because the game, you spend pretty much the entire thing with those two talking to each other in cutscenes and gameplay. So they have a huge advantage on that front. But I liked it a lot. I liked that it stayed faithful in some areas and deviated in others. But the way it deviated was like interesting and well written for the most part. So.
Nice. Yeah, I did not play or watch any gameplay, but I enjoyed the show a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, I would recommend it, I guess, the first game, but because the game is so cutscene heavy, you could probably get a similar experience by finding a compilation on YouTube of, like, all the dialogue and cutscenes in chronological order.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did I erase his shoulder? There we go.
One game. Have you watched or played any, like, Detroit Become Human?
I've watched some of it, but I haven't played it myself. That's that story based like Android
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I thought the story was very fun
Neat.
and the gameplay.
Yeah, I've seen bits and bobs of it. Never dived into it myself.
I don't really remember enough to describe it good justice, but yeah, that's one that you should check out.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember like that opening of the game where you're trying to save that little girl from that like rogue android or whatever. Like I watched that whole thing. That was a pretty neat little like investigative thing that you could do.
Yeah.
There we go. I think I'll add some color, but I think the line works good enough.
And looking very, very nice.
Thank you. Let's see. Now that I'm out of color, I'm gonna look at yours. Whoa, look at this fucking guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I hope it's good. Hope you like it.
I do. This guy like, does he have like a beard?
Yeah, he's got a beard. Like the biblical
Yeah.
thing kind of made me think of a god type creature.
Mm-hmm. I like that. The horn looks. Oh shit! The horn looks really cool. I like how it's got like. It looks like it has like layered armor on top.
Yeah, like a little titan.
He's got. Is like a tattoo on his arm? That's fucking dope.
Yeah, a little snake-ish tattoo.
Hell yeah. Badass.
Thank you.
We get to color in this food.
Man, a lot of outside my comfort zone drawings today.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, good experience.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
I do like to make sure it's chill and that everyone just who comes on just does whatever they want. But hey, if you went out of your comfort zone, I love hearing that too.
Yeah, I don't usually draw like big biblical old men or like square shaped firefighter ladies.
Yeah, no, the firefighter lady looks fucking cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we honestly this was a pretty like apart from being very fun, it was like a good learning like exercise experience.
Yeah.
All right, let me draw a little hooligan challenging him at the top of the mountain.
He's trying to fight God.
Back when all I drew were stick figures, I would do like I've been doing like sequential art since I was really little. I would do like this kind of thing. If this was the piece of paper, I would divide it into rows like this, and then I would have a orange stick figure, say.
Okay.
And a pink one.
Yeah.
All right, let me do it. A blue one here.
All right.
Then I would do this. I would have a little arrow,
and
then I would draw them in their next pose, like this dude's giving this guy a little kick.
Oh yeah.
And this guy's flying back.
No,
I would draw a comic like that before I like
cool.
realized I could just draw the line there to do the.
No, that's cool. I used to do something similar, but it was like big battlefield scenes all the time. Like I would draw like a big line, and that would be the ground, and I would just draw a bunch of random little stick figures like fighting each other, like
me too.
Just two clashing armies all the time. That was
yeah. I would do that also.
That was one of my favorite things to draw.
I would also do like a one big scene kind of thing. Like if this was the paper, and I would draw like a huge tree with a bunch of branches. And then I would have like two characters, say they're standing at the bottom like this, and I would write a little one by it, and then I would have a little arrow with them here with different dialogue with the two, and then they would just go all over the page like that.
That's cool. Yeah.
I also did those like two armies, a bunch of stick figures, a bunch of dialogue, people shooting each other.
Yeah.
Good times. It's the
simpler days.
panels. Yeah. It's in the comic stuff is in your instincts.
Oh yeah. I should have just done that for my comic. Why the fuck am I trying so hard?
Arrow.
Arrow, stick figure does this, they do that. No dialogue.
Like Primal.
Oh dude, Primal fucking rocks.
Primal is really good. Primal ended up becoming one of the main inspirations for my upcoming book. I just was watching it, and it's just like the environment, the like emotion.
Yeah.
I also saw Scavenger's Reign, and they've got a really simple animation style, but they're able to capture such complex emotions because like the animators really know what part of the face to pull when you're trying to do X emotion.
That's that HBO series, right?
Yep.
Okay. I heard about it. I need to watch that. I heard it's very, very mindfucky a little bit.
Yeah, it's like really, it's half them telling their story and like actually I wouldn't say half. I would say like it's 40% dedicated to the story and like 60% just dedicated to showing off the creativity of the storyboard people, the art directors. Like here's the crazy alien I can come up with. Look at this.
Yeah, I saw like a clip from that show of like a frog, like a little frog critter being born, and then within like the same like fucking minute, like living through its life and dying and becoming part of the plant again.
Yep.
And I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
I don't know. That creature was literally what'd
you do to Pepe? Why did you do such a thing to him?
Nice. I'm liking the zombie. Actually, your color scheme is very similar to mine.
Oh yeah? Yeah, when I think zombie, you know, my mind goes like to that palish green skin.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Except, I mean, I use that color on his clothes, and his skin is, for some reason, a very, like, desaturated red.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, that's a cool color palette, for sure.
I guess I just wanted to do, like, the setting for this story would be, like, a very desolate desert. So I guess, I don't know, like a heat zombie. Yeah. Very nice.
Give them some little like blotches.
The sawed-off shotgun being on the arm is also very nice.
You said sawed-off shotgun, like, and I thought of like Ash versus Evil Dead. I was like, I'm gonna attach that shit to his arm. There we go. I'll say he's done.
Yeah, I think I'll.
Yeah, look at him fucking go. This guy's about to get fucking milli-whopped on that mountain. Yeah,
the whole, like, they're gonna be like, we gotta find this guy, like, I know he's dead, we gotta find his body. It was on the mountain. They're gonna be like, okay, cool, all we gotta do is find a mountain and we'll be able to recover this guy's body. The mountain's just gone.
The mountain's gone. All that's left is, like, a fucking piece of his bone, just burnt. God, I've come here to fight you. I can imagine this. He's just like, "What? Are you serious? Like, come on, man! Don't do it! Don't do this!
This doesn't even require like my charge attack. Like
I don't have.
Breathe on you.
It's like I don't have to charge you. I could just like blow in your direction and you'll die. He goes like, well then I guess your mother was right about you. And then he would immediately go into a fucking charge.
Yeah, he'd be like, wait, is there a trick? Like, what's happening? Do you think this lowly of me?
He's like, do you have like some secret god-killing power that I just heard about now, after all these years? Like, he's fucking cool. I love. I think I really love the way you design the horn and that tattoo, especially.
Thank you.
The look of that is very neat. If I'm taking anything, I'm incorporating that horn design into what I already had.
Let's see. I like the zombie a lot. I think I really like the way that the wires are coming out of him. That's kind of reminiscent of what I was envisioning, and I like the fact that the brain is exposed. I think that really like gives the story better than mine.
Yeah, I just had the idea of like RoboCop, where there was that section in the story where it was like one of the characters, I forgot who, it was like just his brain and eyeballs in a jar. I was like, what if he still had his eyeballs, like, and he was like in a little glass jar on top of his head?
The pose is also really good.
Thank you.
It's like very, very dynamic, very zombie-like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a cool character. I like just the idea of that character being in a sort of sci-fi post-apocalyptic fantasy setting would be really fucking cool. Like this is the type of character I would want to be the main character. Like like weird shit like that, like stories like that one anime where that guy has like a revolver for a head and he's like a detective. I don't know what it's called, but that's an actual anime. His head is a gun and he's a detective. And it's like shit like that is like, that's just already so interesting. Like already it's like I just want to see how Mr. Gunhead story play out, and like this is like I want to see how Mr. Zombie Man, like sentient zombie man, would play out. But speaking of which, go ahead. Let me say one thing. Let's get our characters and send them to each other so I can put it up on screen, and then we can see what we created versus what we had. But keep going.
What was I about to say? What was the last word I said?
Well, last word I said was I want to see the zombie as a main character, and then
right, yeah. Okay, so the story would probably be like how he gets his freedom from this scientist, while like also doing whatever the scientist is compelling him to do.
Interesting. Okay, so he's like sort of partly controlled.
I wouldn't say like a physical control, but like maybe there's like a hostage or something involved.
Okay, so it's just like either way, he's kind of doing what he is against his will.
Yeah.
There's mine. Oh yeah, there's your zombie. That's yeah.
Oh dang! Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay, I like the kind of alien aspect. Mine is very human.
Yeah. Mine is sort of chimera idea for the story.
Yeah. Very cool. I like you kind of got a beard situation going on too, like kind of implicitly with the
he's got the little rag, so it does have like that kind of beard look to it. But like I said, that horn that you have, I really like, and I like that tattoo, so I'll definitely be incorporating that for sure. Just because it like that jagged sort of like it looks bulkier, which I like. And yeah, dude, I remember this zombie now that you sent it to me. You drew this a little while ago, at some point last year, right?
Yeah, it was I think October of 2022.
Nice. Yeah, I like yours is fucking. I like yours better than mine. Mine is like a cartoonish, fucking like Plants vs Zombie. Yours is like has this really nice, sort of intricate cybernetics going on, which I really like.
Yeah, I like yours better than mine as well. This is definitely a very cohesive.
I think mine.
Krillin.
I think mine is a little more, like I said, cartoonish, but like maybe it's like the prototype or something. I don't know.
No, I mean for your character here.
Oh, the character. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. It's I really like yours. Yours looks like a wise man. He looks like he's definitely lived for a long time, and like he could totally fuck things up if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
Mine's a little more animalistic, I would say.
I like yours seems like really whole, like the design, like what we were talking about with Krillin, like it seems very complete, and the tattoos and the other like horn will definitely add that a little bit. And as for your zombie, I really like the pose there, like similar to this character. I think you got the mood down. Whenever you design a character, it's got a very clear mood. It feels very complete.
Thank you. Yeah, Um, no, I definitely had a lot of fun with that. This is why I like doing stuff like this. It lets me let loose and just create more cartoonish, more out there characters. I still love your like your chili pepper grandma lady.
Yeah, your jagged demon racer is very solid. And the Krillin is also very well done.
He's getting that support that he needs. Like nobody else pays attention to me anymore. Fucking Vegeta, that pose is sick as fuck, and I really love the rendering style.
Thank you.
Like stuff like the stuff like where it's like styles like yours especially that I've always admired. It's like an intentional kind of messy in a way. When I see your work, like you have these little bits of like color or line that aren't technically attached to the character or something, but it just adds so much extra movement. Like little things like like little things like just a little bit of color sticking out there, the shoes not being fully colored in here, just add so much like freedom to the character. Like it feels like they can just breathe.
That's high praise. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think it gives a little bit of more energy.
No, it's like the way you draw stuff is like the way I'm trying to incorporate into my work, where I'm just kind of going a little more with the flow, to create more dynamic work.
Yeah, your lines have gotten like ever since you kind of went for a more like sticking to the roughs, the energy's way more, and it still looks fantastic. Like it's not messy, like given the context, like it looks very very flow, very energy.
Yeah, because it's gotten to the point where it's like I could spend forever making the lines as perfect as possible, but people, like we were saying, most important thing is the story. So it's best I get the story moving along. But this was like what we've got going here. I feel like the zombie I made and your grandma lady could be in like the same story, like the same universe, like this super cartoonish, like high sci-fi fantasy setting where there isn't like a ton of like internal consistency with like the way characters look.
The zombies could be like, could have like a chili spice element to them as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love chili.
And then this demon biker is also existing in that universe. Because why not?
Yeah, why not? You know, we're having fun. But yeah, this was a ton of fun. A lot of badass drawings here, as I expected from you. I was very excited to have you on. I knew bringing you on would create some badass stuff.
I'm glad I didn't disappoint.
No, of course not. You could never. You could
imagine
never.
I came on and this little stick figure thing is the only thing I drew.
That's it. And if you did, that'd still be okay.
No, too kind. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun. I was looking forward to this all week ever since we set the time, and now it did not disappoint. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. Hope to have you back on one day.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm gonna keep going with this. I've got other artists in line. Gonna record another episode tomorrow with 2 other good friends of mine who are really good artists. So
nice.
Yeah, we're cooking with gas. But I really had a great time. Very excited that I was able to get you on. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So before we go, why don't you just tell anybody watching, who you are and what you're up to, and if you got any. I know you mentioned it already, but if you what other future projects you've got in mind or whatever you're working on.
Yeah, sure. I'm Illushray. You can find me on Instagram or X or various other platforms by the same name. Been doing comics for the longest time, and you can expect to see a lot of news about my upcoming graphic novel IP, which has got a lot of sci-fi going on, aliens, fantasy powers, a lot of action, and I think there'll be a lot more news about that later. Maybe I'll sneak my way back onto the spice cabinet when I have more to share.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great time.
It has. As for me, same thing. Working on Where the Humans Go. Obviously, gonna get more chapters out. Still in the works for making more comic dubs. You know, working with those.
Oh yeah, those
super
awesome,
talented voice actors. I love working with them. Other than that, more Spice Cabinet to come, as always. And thank you all for watching, and thank you, Illushray, for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, pleasure's all mine. And now, since you're already here, since you made it this far, definitely go check out the comic dubs on the channel.
Thank you. Yes, check those out. Follow me on my socials. Make sure you follow Illushray, please. You won't be disappointed. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya.